Oh, ladies and gents, Terminator 7 horror movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger back. Yeah, it's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. I do have to cover this though because I saw a bunch of people talking about it in the comment section. A lot of people liked it, and I do these videos periodically just to try and clarify like where you get your sources from are really important. So this is an article on terminatorfans.com. Nothing against them. They're reporting on it and debunking it just like I would do. This all comes from We Got This Covered. Now, again, I've done this time and time again. We Got This Covered don't know anything. They seriously don't know anything. And what the Terminator fans do so eloquently here is just rip it apart, because they show exactly the timeline of what the Terminator fans have said and why it's just falling apart completely. So you can see how everything just contradicts one another. The only thing that We Got This Covered ever get right is not from them, if that makes sense. It's all just it's just trash. It's complete trash. Never, and I repeat, never listen to a word We Got This Covered says. Ever. Terrible website. Like I cannot stress that enough. We Got This Covered have about as much, I don't know. They don't get anything right. It's awful. So anyway, so here it is. 2 big new Terminator 7 stories arrived the same day, delivered by none other than the questionable news outlet We Got This Covered. The fact that this news is delivered by that platform removes nearly all of the weight and excitement from the information, but even if the news was delivered by a reputable source, we aren't so sure that it would make any difference in terms of excitement for more Terminator movies. That's just their sort of own spin. This article's linked down below, by the way. Check them out. Good website. And so this is the thing, right? So the news comes again via what seems to be the resident insider of We Got This Covered, Daniel, hope it sticks, Richtman. He minimal things does he get right. Minimal things. In fact, like there's some stuff over here that he's now saying, about a Batman the Animated Series sequel show in development for HBO Max. That's not happening. It's not happening. They've got, well, maybe it is. Again, it's one of those things that like, oh, it could work, so I'm just going to make a video on it. Like that's what these people do. Oh, maybe. We'll see. And they slap Rumour on it. Rumour, but inside sources. We'll see how it pans out. It's the format of We Got This Covered. It is everything that We Got This Covered does, right? So We Got This Covered, aka we ain't got shit covered, does exactly the same thing all the same time. So it says how, they start off with some bits and pieces, right? And then they go into, oh, well, from here, what remains to be seen. So it's like, well, we'll posit a bit of information, but then we'll say, actually, we don't know. So just wait a little bit. Yeah, super dumb. So anyway, let's check out what the actual report is. Because, again, it's just such nonsense. So anyway, the first news from We Got This Covered on the subject of Terminator 7 was that the new Terminator movie is going to be more of a horror movie. Daniel Richtman is now reporting that the next Terminator project will be more of a straightforward horror movie than the mega budget action blockbusters that have categorized or characterized, the series for almost 30 years. And then this is the funny bit as well. Reporting that Schwarzenegger is signed on for at least one of them, although he doesn't offer any further details. Because apparently, like, he's on for all of them. So then this article again, so eloquent, their takedown. So let's get this straight. The first claim is news that many Terminator fans have been crying out for many years: a return to the roots and a back to basics approach. Though this has always seemingly fallen on deaf ears, with the studio piling damage upon damage, helping to diminish the once great franchise. If the franchise isn't working as PG-13, then eventually it would go without saying that a darker approach should at least be seriously considered. Yeah, true. But there's so many things which stack against it. So Arnold being back, what does that even mean? Like, seriously, Arnold is always back. When did he leave? Like, what? Come on. He was even supposed to return for Terminator Salvation. Like, he's always been around. So during the promotion for Terminator Dark Fate, Arnold Schwarzenegger spoke of the possibility of returning once more after the 6th movie, telling the Inquirer that it's impossible to say today because every single time I die in a Terminator movie, and somehow they always figure out how to bring me back. So I have no idea. It's one of my favourite characters that I've played. And then this is the funny. This is their takedown. So we got this covered, and Daniel Reitman claims thus far. Paramount. This is in list. Paramount have a Terminator Dark Fate continuation TV series planned, and it's coming to Hulu. Why would it go to Hulu? Hulu is majority owned by Disney. That doesn't make any sense. James Cameron, these are separate headlines. James Cameron wants to make and oversee Terminator 7 as a future war movie. Right. Robert Patrick is back as a new T-1000. Okay. Do you see how these are just spot picking everything that everyone wants? Yeah? Or at the time, it's for SEO, so it'll be the people that are high on the search terms in Google. Margot Robbie and John Cena are being eyed to bring flesh blood to the Terminator series. Alright. And then it goes, Paramount Pictures wants Terminator 7 to be PG-13, but James Cameron wants to make it rated R. Right, okay. And now, Arnold is signed back on, and Terminator 7 will be closer to a horror movie. It's just SEO, mate. It's just garbage. But then here's the other interesting thing, right? So the problem here is that we got this covered, and Daniel Reitman seemed to be all over the place with their information, which, to be honest, seems to be based on trend-following, simplified guesswork. And this is what I've always said about them. What fans have made abundantly clear for a long time that they want. So, selling confirmation bias to people. Because people will click on it. Because they're like, oh my god, I want that. That's great. They click on it, and then they earn their money, and fans get nothing. The studios could plan to do all of the above, but we find it doubtful that they would greenlight multiple movies and a TV show all at once. This might happen for something like Batman at DC or the Avengers at Marvel, but it's questionable that the current dead horse Terminator franchise would validate such a high investment, which is true. That is, of course, unless Skydance's David Ellison has a sheer hunger to burn giant wads of money, because, yeah, he's the guy that's got the rights at the moment. Though maybe entertainment's a little thin on the ground at the top at the moment, though still it's highly doubtful. So most people would be happy to call this trash news or clickbait, but at any time the studios could validate any or all the information simply by doing it. Yeah, I think it's nonsense, let's be honest. So there you go, look. It's of course it's trash. Like, of course it is. But let this be like a cautionary warning, like a little bit of a tale of being careful. Basically what I've already just said, isn't it? We got this covered are garbage. They recently posited that Disney were making a new Predator movie and Arnold was signing on. It's like, no, we already know that a new Predator movie is being made. So they jumped on the bandwagon of Predator trending and Arnold Schwarzenegger trending and was like, oh, but there's also a new movie being made and it's got Arnold Schwarzenegger. No, it's not. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts though, so please do let me know. Please, please, please don't get your news from We Got This Covered. They're shit. Cheers. Take care.